That fight here, I was so invested in that fight. I blacked out. If you catch me, I'm holding the railing.
I see. I remember now. I remember now.
Jumped up.
He was holding it. Like, let's go.
Yeah, I blacked out. I was like,
there was no one from outside of the world to see the blueprint. Like, you can be like this guy. So we had to pave the way.
If you would have said, I want to be like JJ Okocha, my son.
Bring the ball. Bring the ball.
Let me show you back in my day.
Yeah, so we've paved the way now that kids can be like, I want to be like Kamaru Usman, you know? So they see like, oh, there's a path. Even Dricus, credit to him, the 4th African champion, he's paving the way right now. And I'm glad he is a champion because we still have an African champion. What's up, it's your boy Israel Adesanya, the last Stylebender, and welcome to Young Man Ramble. Today we have a special guest right here in the 305, the former welterweight champion of the world and #1 pound for pound fighter on the planet. One of the best to ever do it. The first African to hold a UFC title. My brother, Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman. My man.
Let's bring it full circle. We've not been here since
the fight.
What was it 287? Was it 287? No, 290.
I fucking forgot, bro.
What does it feel like being back?
In Miami, to be honest, feels familiar, because I've been here for Rumble's camp when he had John Jones, and we met, I think that's when we met in person. And then I came back for the fight, and this is my 3rd time being back. So it's always nice to be back in Miami. I think it's a special place for me. A lot of history. Even when I went to Key West, the first time I came. Really? You been Key West?
No, I've never been.
What?
I know, I've never been.
Bruh. Oh.
I've never been.
Haram.
What happened?
No.
Yeah, what happened in Key West?
There
was a lot of excitement. What happened in Key West?
Oh, no.
No, I've never been. I hear it's a chill place, though. It's a nice, cool, chill place.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. It's a
nice, chill place.
It's a chill place. No, it was, but it was just a lot of activity, a lot of students roaming around.
Oh, did you go during spring break?
Maybe, I can't remember.
Oh.
Yeah.
How much has Blackzilians changed since then?
Now, since I was there, well, it's not Blackzilians anymore. Now they've changed gyms. You said like twice now.
Yeah.
And now Henry's got his own thing with Kill Cliff FC.
Right.
But what I like when I walked into there was like, it's similar crew, similar vibe as well.
Yeah.
Similar vibe, similar crew, a lot of high level guys working together. 'Cause that's the thing, whenever you go to these gyms with high level, there's a lot of ego.
Right.
You can see it. And I know everyone has their own ego, but I feel like you guys know the hierarchy and how to keep it in check with everyone.
Yeah, the gym it's changed a lot. Yeah. Of course, it started out small where it was just Rashad, Anthony, Michael, George Santiago, Jay-Z Cavalcante, Tyrone, and that was pretty much it. Then Melvin and guys started coming in, the Villefort brothers, they started coming, and then it got big to where it was, we moved to level 5, where it was really big. Where Vitor came, then Alistair Overeem came, then all these guys came.
That's right.
So that one was almost kind of like too big, and then it got smaller again where Alistair left and Vitor was doing his own thing, and it got smaller, which is when you came. That was at Jocko Training Center.
It was.
And that was special.
What was his name? Glenn
Robinson.
Yeah.
And that was R.I.P. Glenn, and that was special because it wasn't crazy big, but it was just big enough to where we had room to work. Everybody in there was Anthony Johnson, Michael Johnson, Rashad Evans, Eddie Alvarez, the Villefort brothers, George Santiago, Jay-Z Cavalcante, me, Gilbert came down, and then Vitor were still bouncing in and out, like very, very high level guys. And we were training well. Like, we had good coaches. Henry, of course, kind of taking the charge there. And then it was a split again. Then it was Combat Club, to where it was just a couple of guys. Rashad, of course. I went everywhere Rashad went, because Rashad was like big brother.
Big bro, yeah.
Rashad was like, hey, he's the one who got me to move to Florida. He's like,
real?
Yeah, so he was like, when I left the Olympic Training Center and I stopped wrestling in Colorado Springs.
Oh, I see.
I knew I wanted to try MMA, and I had an offer to go to Texas and train with Johnny Hendricks' crew and those guys. And it was a pretty sweet offer. When you leaving the Olympic Training Center and you broke, it was a sweet offer, but
He was on the up at the time.
yeah, I was just, it was going, but I was just like, Rashad was like, come thug it out with me. And this Rashad, I already created a bond with Rashad.
It's
and
different.
Rashad's at the top of the game. When the superstar of the game says, yo, come chill, come train with me.
Yeah.
They come.
Of
I'm
course,
going.
yeah.
And so I went because I wanted to learn from him, and what a decision that was. It was just, I feel like God placed me at the right place at the right time, because he was the guy to learn everything from. As far as how to conduct yourself, how to do these interviews, how to treat these guys, how to just go about life. There's a lot of big things coming at him, how to decipher it, how to not place importance in it. And just, I was inspired a lot by him. And then, you know, Henry wanted to do his own thing, started H kickboxing, and that was doing really, really well with us. And eventually, it's only a matter of time before you partner with someone who's gonna help that dream. And that's where, you know, Kill Cliff, it was born. And so now it's still, you know, there's still the sprinkle of the guys that have been there, but you think about that, Chaco, that was 2012. That was
it was a long time ago.
Yeah, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's still guys like Michael Johnson and myself still
Yeah, even seen him
training.
today, I was like, oh, yo, that's
Yeah.
right, he's around. Yeah, I almost forget, but then seeing him kind of brought that memory back. I'm like, oh, yo, Michael's, and I've seen you guys spar as well.
Yeah, Michael's still at it.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Seeing him and Gilbert play around as well today, that was fun to watch.
Is that gym open to the public?
No. Not like
Not your side.
it's no.
Because they got the weight side.
They got that side is a functioning, but that's still more of a specialty, like the pro NFL football players.
Is that why the pictures are? Oh, I see. Okay, bet.
So they
Gotcha.
come there and do the combine before they go to, you know, the NFL combines, or some of the NFL guys who come back and still train there off season.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's mainly what they do. They specialize in, you know, high performance training there.
I
Because
see,
being
I
in there
see.
today, it was so cool just seeing so many UFC roster people like just boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
Jared, this guy. I'm like, oh, I know this guy.
Did the split up of the gyms as I went through the different phases affect like personal relationships or anything? Or
It does. I mean, it's crazy to say it would not. It would not, because this is so personal. What we do is so personal that when you have a split, you know, some guys might be friends and now they're no longer friends.
Yeah.
Or they split. If this guy's not welcome in the gym, they go to another gym, and you've been training with them for a long time. That hurts the relationship, because now they have new friends at the gym they're at, and they tell the new friends what's going on here. So it's hard for it not to affect relationships. It does sometimes, but you know, this is, at the end of the day, this is what we do.
We've managed it well, because even I asked you today about your time with what's his name, Trevor Wittman, and you said, when I need to like tighten things up, I go over there. So like when you have your camps, I assume you go over. Where is that, in Colorado, or where is that?
Denver.
Denver. Oh yeah. Oh, and then you're in elevation as well.
Yeah.
So that's good for you.
Yeah. So the thing with that is, you get to a point at the top of your game. You get to the top of the point of your career where it's not big changes you need to make to really get over. It might be just little tiny things, just a little small thing that separates the champion from the rest of the division. And so when you're in a bigger gym like that, it's great because you have a ton of bodies that you could learn and bounce things off of and really grow with. But there's only a few coaches. So if you've got 50, 60 guys in the gym, and the coach in this gym, a ton of UFC guys, and there's fights every week. The coaches are gone every weekend or every other weekend.
That's why you had to. Yeah, I
Right.
understand.
So that starts to kind of hurt that little tweaks and the little attention to detail that you want to place on it to stay at the top. And so, you know, it was, I love Henry. Henry is, you know, partially responsible for getting me.
Dog cat on the phone. on the phone, like on the car today, I was like, I saw dog cat calling. I was like, who the fuck's dog cat? Boom. And it was Henry. I was like, oh shit.
No, it's just a name in my phone. Yeah. No, but I have different names in my phone. But yeah, Henry is partially responsible. I mean, as far as learning the fundamentals of kicking, I came in straight wrestler, never kicked before. So just learning the basics of how to punch, kick, punch. He was the absolute best guy for that.
Facts.
And it worked for as far as honing my style and me blending it and making it what I wanted. So yeah, Henry's responsible. But now Henry's also responsible for 50 other guys. And so when you're doing that, it's just hard for me to say, hey, Henry, I need you to just come spend this time with just me.
But he's got priority.
Exactly.
You know, I can see that now a little bit with Eugene. Because now NZ, like as you're saying it, I'm kind of, I guess, actualizing. I'm like, yeah, I've seen it because I haven't done pads with Eugene. I only do pads with Eugene now when I'm in camp. Right now I do pads with Mike Angove, who's one of the other trainers, and he's phenomenal. Attention to detail, all that. But Eugene has to split his time with, now he's got Navajo on the rise, he's got Toes 'em Up, who else? A few other people who low-key have some shots in the UFC, so he has to kind of focus his attention on them. And it's only when it's like, okay, it's go time, then he focuses, right, I have to do this. And again, it was a post I saw the other day, but I respect the coaches, man, because they're away so much. So much. Like even during the pandemic when we had to go back home and do the 2-week MIQ, I did 4. He did 9. So you go away.
Which that was absurd. Even
now we know it's the pandemic.
New Zealand was, that was absurd.
2 weeks every time. So I come back, I did 4 of them, I'd travel, come back. And I got stuck in America one time because we had to do a raffle to get a draw to get back into the country, but we didn't know when. So we're in Vegas and me, Loss, and Brad were like, nah, fuck that. We're not staying in Vegas for who knows how long. Bro, imagine me in Vegas for who knows how long. So I was like, nah, and then we went to San Diego and we were there for 8 weeks. Yeah. So imagine if I wouldn't have done that. So went back home, do the 2-week MIQ. So again, I did 4, he did 9. And I remember he was away from he had a newborn at the time as well. So he was away from his family a lot. So I understand the sacrifices they have to make, and it's a lot. But we have to also look after our best interests at this level.
Yeah, I mean, and it's for a coach as well. There's a selfishness that comes with it as well. It's just like a fighter, the journey of a fighter. Yep. There's a journey of a coach as well. Yeah. And that coach is sacrificing his time and all to where they are so invested in your journey to where when you win, they win.
We win.
We win together, and they feel it in a different way. Obviously, when you're in there, it's a different adrenaline that you feel, but they feel it on the outside as well. And I know this because that fight here, and I was so invested in that fight.
My one?
I blacked out. I got up. I jumped up. I was so high, I blacked out. I was holding the. If you catch me, I was holding the railing.
I see. I remember now.
Jumped up and
was holding it. It was like, let's go.
Yeah, I blacked out. I was like, and then I was like, oh, this is crazy. And then the same thing with Justin Gaethje when he fought Dustin Poirier.
Oh man!
Boom, lands the head kick. I jumped like, yes! And my daughter's standing right next to me. She's like. But it's when you're so invested in that outcome and that person, and then you know how personal this is. It's the coach, they get that satisfaction as well, especially knowing that he put that time in with you and developed those skills, and you went out there and you showed it and you represented well. Yeah. And so it's a selfish journey, but the coach definitely, if everything is done right and that chemistry is the way it should be, they reap that too, the benefits of that.
Question, everyone asks me this sometimes after fights, or are you ever gonna be a coach, do you think, or nah?
Well, the thing with that is first and foremost, I never say never. But that's not my, I wanna be a coach, that's not my passion. No, I don't want. But you have so much knowledge and you're held in such high regards to where you're gonna run into a kid one day that's just gonna be like, bro.
There's one or two. I know there's gonna be some little like dude who I'm just like
a consultant.
No.
So the thing is, there's all kinds of kids. There's good people, the bad people. There's
Who's
people that are just for themselves.
What's his name?
Adamu.
Adamu, yeah.
Like kids, like there's kids that just come around that your energies just sink, and you just want to care for them. You want to look after them. You want to make sure that they're doing the right things. You've been there. You have that knowledge. So if you go on the bag, if you walk in the gym, you see them on the bag and they're doing something and their technique's a little off.
Funny enough, it's happening now.
You can't even help it.
Yeah, it's happening now.
You'll walk
Funny
up,
when I think about it.
hey, keep your chin down, throw this way, and you start doing it. And it's only a matter of time before they continue to come to you.
Yeah.
To where you're
I've just seen
you're
the
a full-fledged
sacrifices.
coach and you're still just denying it. You're just saying, nah,
Yeah,
like,
I'm
yeah,
the coach.
I'm not
I'm
doing
the
it.
coach. I'm just a former fighter.
Yeah, the same thing with Robbie Lawler. Robbie used to say that.
Real.
Robbie
But he was here today at the gym.
Robbie's a full-fledged coach now.
I think it's a way, because you never know till you get there. I think it's probably a way that I think Robbie's a fighter through and through. He can't leave the game.
Yeah.
He can't leave the game. The game is just, it needs him. So for me, I always say I don't think I'm ever going to be a coach. I don't want to have a gym. And I know it'll be a good business opportunity and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like there will be, and as you say that, I'm like, I kind of already do it. There's like a couple of people, even in my gym, where I'm like, I see you. And I see me.
Yeah.
And I see what you can do. And I'm trying to help. Like the young guys, bro, they inspire me so much in my gym. They're better than us when we were coming up. Like the young 24, 25-year-olds. I'm like, man, they're doing the things I should have been doing.
Yeah.
Physio, fucking.
Yeah, the game has changed.
Yeah.
So now they know.
They know what to do. So I never did that shit when I was coming up. Stuff like massages and whatnot. Because I'm like, bro, I'm ready.
Let's go.
Stay ready. So I see them now and they inspire me even now at this age, because I try and teach them, like, you guys have to look after your body, even if you're 25, 26, because it'll help you prolong your career. And I feel like I did it at the right time. Everyone's story is different, but I did it at the right time where I am extending my career even better now because of what I'm doing. But yeah, I kind of do it already without doing it, but when it's time, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think personally I would want to get into the business of owning the gym.
Neither. It looks like a lot of work.
It's a lot of
work.
work.
It's like babysitting.
Yeah,
it just
exactly.
seems that I don't need a daycare.
It's a lot of work. It's a tough business, and I think we've been blessed to be in a position to where we don't necessarily have to go into that kind of business.
Yep. Amen.
And work that way.
Amen.
To where we could, with the right guidance, you could do other things around to make sure, because that's the gift that we've been given is, besides the finance, is access.
Yeah.
And so we can definitely utilize other things to, make life a little easier for ourselves.
What have you been doing outside of the cage, octagon?
Well, since
big business.
Obviously, when you're champion, it's hard to look down. It's hard to look beside you. It's hard to look any other way. You're just looking this way. Defend, defend, defend. Who's the next guy? Defend. Who's the next guy? But then something magical happens, and then it's like, boom, I'm not that anymore. Then at first you fight it. You're like, nah, I gotta get that shit back. Nah, I gotta, you go into that in your mind. You go with that, you fight that fight. And yes, you can go out there and get it back right away, or you may fall short. But then you come to a realization like, oh, there's stuff over here. There's stuff there.
That's why we're here.
Oh, there's life there.
There's money being left on the table.
Exactly. And you start to take those blinders off, and you start to see that there's things here, 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 and here.
That's a good way to put it.
And now you have a little bit more time, because it's not, when you're champion, I'm just working. I gotta keep him off me, keep him off me, keep him off me.
Yeah.
But now you have a little bit more time to where, like we said, you can still fight. You can get in here and compete and do whatever you want, but you've bought the luxury, you've earned the luxury.
Amen. Earned.
Of saying, you know what? Okay, let me do something else for a little while, but I'm still in here grinding. I'm still in here getting it in, but it's not that mental grind, that mental pressure of each and every day, oh, I have to do this and do this and do this before, unless somebody's gonna take my spot. But, with that, obviously, after losing the belt, it's like I feel like, you're getting calls to do this, calls to do that. I'm like, where the hell was these calls at before? They were always there.
Yeah.
I was just had the blinders on of defending.
Focus.
So with that, I didn't really want to get into the business of fighting, but then I went to Nigeria, and Nigeria leads the world in youth population, and going there, and then one night we were driving, me and Berna were driving, and it's maybe 3 a.m. on the streets, and kids on the street.
You used to did plenty, man.
3 a.m. they still on the streets, hungry.
Oh God, what's in your force?
Hungry, haven't eaten, looking for the next meal, looking for what's gonna help them, and then it's, you really think about it, the opportunities are not there for them. And so it really hit me hard. Like, damn man, we are so brilliant, we're so strong, and it's not just in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Togo, it's Tanzania, Mozambique, Uganda, all across Africa. And it's just like, all we're missing is the opportunity. And that's the thing with us is, a lot has been made about, oh, you guys immigrated, you guys, made it somewhere else. First and foremost, that wasn't necessarily our choice.
No.
We had great, amazing, smart parents that decided they wanted more for their lives at that time.
Yeah.
And they immigrated. And they gave us an opportunity for us to either take it higher or not.
And we did.
And so even with that, we still have the roots. So, those opportunities that we might have not gotten being there, like I see these young men and women not having, hit me hard. So it was like, okay, I want to build schools. But everybody does that already.
Yeah. What are you going to do to make a difference?
And then if they build the schools, how are you going to keep it going? People don't understand that. It takes
school fees,
money and things to keep it going. How are you going to pay the teachers? How are you going to upkeep the schools and all of that? And so I was like, okay, supply water. Yeah, people do that. Of course, still do that. But what do I know? What place or what business do I know? Am I involved in that I can really use my voice to touch people?
I like that.
It's like,
fight
then
business.
a promotion, that came about. I had great partners in Ryan.
It's for AKO?
Yeah, it's for AKO, which is African Knockout. We had Ryan and we have Natasha, and it was a great, opportunity. They already had it kind of in the works, and they just needed me to come on board and help elevate it. And so I met with them, we sat, we talked, and looked at the landscape of things, and it's gonna be a battle, of course, because everyone thinks, oh, you get into the fight business, you gotta just compete with the UFC. No, we're not there to compete with the UFC. But at the same time, Africa is a continent that's humongous.
Massive.
Humongous. And so I got on board with them, and we've been building that thing now. It's still a struggle because, the infrastructure like we have in some of these other countries, like here, UFC just goes to Miami, you have an arena, you have all of that there to just do that. So we have to kind of create all of that infrastructure ourselves. And so it's challenging, but we're building something great. Right now we have fighters from over 16 different African countries in our championships right now. So, man, it's been great.
And we've only done shows in Nigeria so far.
We've only done shows in Nigeria so far. We've had offers to go to Egypt.
Yeah.
We're looking at Morocco. We've had kind of offers from Togo, the country Togo. So there's and
I know you know the Prince or King of Morocco as well.
Yes,
so you have
and so my good friends from Morocco. Shout out to the Zataya brothers. Abu or Otman Omar, and so we have ties there. So there's possibilities. But of course the thing with me is I want to do things correctly. I want to do it right. I don't want to just go somewhere and oh yeah, we're here and still not know the infrastructure, how to set up properly, not how to do certain things properly. That's the one advantage that the UFC has so well. Doesn't matter where they go, they know how to just pick the cage up, put it.
They know how to do it.
They already know the setup. And so we're trying to really develop that to where we can go anywhere in Africa. And this is for us.
Yeah.
We build this up and look at the guys starting to get the opportunity. We signed our first guy to the UFC this year, Josiah Musasa.
Yeah,
from Congo, and there's there's plenty more fighters.
He looks really green, but very fucking special, like athletic, crazy. Yeah, but again, it's one of those things. I've said this, even the kids you're talking about on the street, when I was last in Nigeria, in the daytime, I see these kids and teenagers, and I'm like, this guy's laying, like just bricklayer. Motherfucker look like you.
Oh yeah.
Just doom.
Just Francis everywhere.
Bro, jacked. And he might not have the best meal plan or whatever, but he just a hard worker who knows. And I've always said this, I'm the runt of our people. Like, there's better specimens out there. Way better specimens. And now I feel like the time is coming, because right now there's always a country in MMA that runs the game. There's the Brazilians at one point, then the Americans at one point, and now I think right now maybe the Dagestanis might be having a moment, but we had our moment. We had our moment. The three kings. But again, we represented, but there wasn't enough of us, because that's where we come in now. With what you're doing with AKO.
Yes.
The way you're farming the talent, and then you pick the ones that are like, okay, you're the one, you're special, boom, boom. And then eventually, give it 5 years, I've said, give it a little while. Once the continent of Africa understands MMA and know that like football's not the only way to just make it out, and make it big, it's game over.
Yeah.
It's game over. I honestly believe, just because we don't have the pedigree like all these other guys, like the American wrestling or the Brazilians with the jiu-jitsu. We have Dambe, it's different. Yes. Yeah. But eventually, when that happens, I think we'll literally take over the game.
Yeah, I think a big part of that is representation. Representation is so important, because when you're growing, when you're getting into something, like I got into wrestling, I never knew anything about wrestling. I thought it was WWE.
Yeah, me too.
And I didn't know anything about it. And so once I got into it, and it was just, I was on a team where it was only 3 black kids on the team, where it was like, okay. And then you start to get a little better, because you keep showing up every day, you keep training, you're trying to work hard. But then you get to a point where you're there a little bit, but then it's like, is there anybody that look like me here? Anyone that's gone through what I've gone through? Anyone that's feeling what I'm feeling? Then you start to do research, and you see that I'm like, oh, he looked like me. Let me see how he wrestles. Oh, he wrestles like me. Oh, he's doing this move, that move. Oh, that's why he became that champion.
Let's see.
So you start to look, and that representation is inspiring.
Yeah.
So now I'm inspired, like, oh yeah, they look like me. I can do that. And so you inspire, because you let them know, like, yo, you guys can do this too. And that's why you see a country take off. Boom, just a surge of guys from there.
Yeah.
Because it's representation.
We were the ones.
Boom, us, and it's, we.
Yeah.
They know MMA in Africa now.
Oh, now they do. Like,
yeah.
I was talking to you then, and I said, my parents, when I first said I want to do MMA,
and you want to fight
MMA? What? I can't think like that. Like, so for me, it was like there was no one from outside of the world,
right,
to see the blueprint. Like, you can be like this guy. So we had to pave the way.
If you would have said, I want to be like JJ Okocha, I want to be my son.
Hey, bring the ball. Bring the ball.
That ball. Let me show you back in my day. So I was in the primary school with Okocha.
So we've paved the way now that kids can be like, I want to be like Kamaru Usman, So they see like, oh, there's a path. There's a way you can go from a contender or like a newbie to a contender to a champion. But before that, we had to pave the way. And now even Dricus, credit to him, the 4th African champion, he's paving the way right now. And I'm glad he is a champion, because we still have an African champion.
Yes.
And I'll say this. It's not even controversial. I'll say this. Rashad Dricus, he's the only current African champion, but something we did was special. It was different. It was the 3 kings. We did it together.
Absolutely.
We did it together. That's what made the 3 kings the 3 kings. Because we did it with how many fighters in the UFC from Africa, and we were champions at the same time. Wow. Francis Ngannou, Kamaru Usman, Israel Adesanya, and the whole continent could look and be like, wow, look at these giants. Look at what they're doing. And again,
you're absolutely right. I mean, let's just talk about it. there's no running from it. Let's talk about it. The controversial thing that happened with the whole situation. And I sum it up as this. It's deep. It's very, very deep. It might go over a lot of people. It might go over a lot of people's head. But
even in America, there's racism here, but they don't understand the levels.
It's very, very deep. But here's the situation, and this is where it rubbed me wrong, because obviously I'm a black, African and American, and I see how things are. I see how I'm treated. Race or not, doesn't matter. But this is what kind of got me is when you come in and there's 3 African kings already. Why is your mentality? Why is your whole thought process not to, man, I want to be the 4th African champion? Why is it not? I would like to be the 4th African champion.
I want to be.
You chose to step into that limelight and come in on the direction of that guy and that guy and that guy don't live here anymore. They're not real African champions.
I agree, and that's what I said.
Yes, and that's the only thing that rubbed me wrong. But I do think he's a great guy.
Yep.
As far as every running that I ran in with him,
he's cool.
He's a cool dude.
He's a cool dude. Yeah.
Cool
Even
dude.
after I sparred him years ago in Thailand.
Yeah.
Cool dude. He and his brother as well. They chill. But yeah, I agree. To be honest, it's a colonial mindset.
Yeah, and
I want to take it off for myself.
Yeah, and to take it further, he might, obviously when you just get done with the fight or you're doing media, you might be hyped and they got that camera in front of you and you start talking, and you might not be necessarily saying or meaning things the way that they come out. And especially when all these clickbait people start writing, because they're gonna put the whole thing out there. They're just gonna clip a little piece and they think it's gonna get the hits.
Yeah.
And so he might have not necessarily meant it that way.
Yeah.
But people ran with it.
Yeah.
And that's the world we live in now.
He doubled down.
They start running with it.
Yeah.
And then he saw an opportunity.
Yeah. Look,
this is an
I'm
opportunity
ready
for
for
me to get there, to fight for that title. And he built a storyline, and he went out there, fought for the title, and power to him. And like I said, yes, we still have an African champion. We've moved on from the 3 kings, but that doesn't mean we forget the 3 kings.
Amen.
We moved on to where now it's 4
yes.
horsemen. It's 4
Yes,
African
sir.
champions.
Yes.
In history.
It's part of the legacy.
So, yeah.
And then there'll be more.
So
I know there'll be
Dricus
more.
Oh, absolutely there'll be more, because now he's inspiring a whole
That's
new
what I'm
crop
saying.
of guys.
Yeah.
And so that was the whole thing about that. And when we respond, obviously when we're in it, we in the shit.
Oh yeah.
When especially when you're fighting, you feel it. The sensitivity is different.
Bro,
and so you respond when they pour gas. You respond. You have to.
Fire feed them.
Yes. And so, respect to him. I like the guy, and he's a champion, and he's still a champion, and he's defending. And so he's right. He's representing, and he's writing the story, and he's bringing in a whole new crop of guys. So much power, much respect. It's just with power comes responsibility.
Amen.
And you have to understand that anything you say and the way that you say things, people are going to grab onto it. And it could be for the better or it could be for the worst. And that topic just happens to be something that was
Very
for
touchy.
the worst, especially when you come from a place that
there's a lot of division.
And that cultural sensitivity is still
bring it together,
there.
man. You got to bring it together.
You have to be wiser in what you say. That was my only thing with that. And then when people, fans start jumping in, which you
fuck those guys, bro. Honestly,
it makes it tough for everybody. But
everyone's trying to perform for the audience. They don't want to look stupid or don't want to look like they're being, I don't know, owned or whatever.
Right.
So everyone had to like.
I mean, it was only a couple of years ago they were killing Nigerians in South Africa.
Exactly.
They're crazy. But there's a funny story I have of there was a prank. There was a Uber scam that I think South Africans played on the Nigerian Ubers and just ordering Ubers.
I heard about that.
And then people would get there and be like, where's my customer? But couldn't find them. And then Nigerians were like, South Africans are playing tricks on Nigerian Uber drivers. Okay, we'll show you. And then they went crazy and Nigerians started to like send Uber drivers and South Africa to different locations to the point where they had to, like, an Uber driver was like, I beg, please. He put a video out saying, like, please, just all you Nigerians, we are brothers now. All this kind of stuff, like, stop. Even, we bailed them out when there was the apartheid going.
Yeah,
it's a history.
Course,
like, I looked into this when I did my study. Like, we helped them and funded money to them to help South Africa while they were going through a crisis.
It's deep. It's deep. The history of Africa is so deep, you can't even tell it all.
But I'll say this, shout to Ibrahim Traoré. That guy I rock with, president of Burkina Faso. Right now, what he's doing, and I even heard he survived, like, I think 18 assassination attempts. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
18.
Obviously, he's it seems that he's a president who wants the best for his people.
I like he's young and he's a militant guy.
Yeah.
Don't take no shit. Doesn't look like he looks like a gangster.
When you want that, it's no secret that Africa and our resources have been
exploited.
And
milked,
milked for so much.
Everybody.
And so he's just a president that's deciding to say, you know what, I'm going to stand up for my people.
Yeah. But what happened to Gaddafi when he tried that?
Yeah, and
they always come
that's
after
the thing
them.
is when you start hitting some of these people that are really exploiting the country's pockets, they try to take it at any means necessary.
Freedom.
Yes. And so, but he seems like he really cares about his country. So, and that's the most important thing. Any president that's showing that they care for their country and they're willing to do everything for their country and the people.
I wish Nigeria would be the same, man.
That's it.
But one thing you said is like the youth. There's more youth in Nigeria than anywhere in the world right now. And I feel like the youth right now, it just takes a few more years for them to get into power or get into the position where they can change things. And hopefully the Nepo babies don't carry on the tradition of their fathers and mothers and keep on milking the country and going overseas. And like even during COVID, all these politicians in Nigeria they couldn't go to their London hospital or wherever. So it's like, what? They should have built the hospital at home and that way be able to, get things done at home than have to go and travel and do a little holiday for a little hospital checkup. You know?
I mean, there needs to be a mindset switch to where we have definitely the resources to be able to do it.
You got the mind.
We got the mind.
Leadership. It all starts at the top.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Because I've not really heard too much about how did you and your family, move and transition from Nigeria to America? What was the catalyst? Because we have our own one, but I've not really heard.
Yeah,
I saw his one on the countdown once.
My dad was in the army, military, and but he wanted to school as well. Wanted to go to school, and so he came over here first, and being able to come here and go to school while in the military. So he was going to pharmacy school while in the military.
American military.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And so then you get, I don't know exactly how the process when you apply for your family or whatnot, and we all get granted the visas, so we get to come over here, and while we're here, it's first day. It was one of the only times it snowed in the state of Texas for like a decade.
And that was your first day?
That was the day we were landing. There was snow on the ground. I'm like, what is this white stuff? Look at this white cold. Why is it cold? So you come from, you go right into that. Talk about culture shock. Oh yeah, we definitely did that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Nice,
try that.
Nice.
It's like what?
Yes. And
it's
so
ice.
it was just a cultural shock to be able to do that. But that's what we mean. Like as a kid, you can only comprehend where you're at that time. And you can't really put sense or look back and see what's going on. But those parents, I think I was around 8 years old at the time. Our parents, shout out to them for being brave enough to be able to, if you think about it now, to just say, you know what, I'm going to immigrate and move my family somewhere else.
My dad moved to NZ first.
I don't know how I'm going to survive. I don't know how I'm going to make this work, but I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
And they did it. And now look where we are. We're thriving. We're looking here. You're sitting here to have this conversation. So
how was school for you? Did you
school?
Because you would have come with a big, thick Nigerian accent. Hello.
Yeah, of course. So we had to do the ESL program, which was kind of like
what's ESL?
ESL is like English as a second language.
But how are you treated by?
Of course, you know, you have the bullies, you know.
We were chased by bats and stuff, man.
Say bitch.
It's traced by what?
Cricket bats and
Me.
us, yeah.
That's right. Fucking hell.
Say, hey, call her bitch. Say
Yeah.
bitch. You know.
Yeah, they'll say
hey,
things like
bitch.
that. Yeah.
Excuse me? Go to the
Yeah.
principal's office.
It's like, did you used to ride
I did something
elephants
bad.
in your house?
Yeah, of course. They would always say that.
Oh, bro. Oh,
You
no.
African booty scratcher, you know? Yeah.
Hey,
all of that.
not the booty scratcher.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
All of that.
Yeah.
So it's
But look at the culture now. Look where we at. From African booty scratchers to last time I was in London, I remember this moment, and it's a snapshot of my head. I was in London in the club, right? And all these bare white girls around, and they are singing Davido to me. Like singing, rapping Davidos. And I'm just like, you don't even know the language you're speaking, but you're just singing the song and speaking Pidgin, speaking Yoruba.
that's how big we are, right?
But that's what I'm saying. Like from them shitting on us and like, oh, fucking this and that. And now we up here, we up, we living, we doing our thing. The culture is.
Let's talk a little bit about this to wrap it up. Is you know, I get this question all the time.
Bet.
And people always go, bro, why didn't you just move up and fight Izzy? Why didn't you just move up and fight Izzy and try to get that second belt? Why didn't you just, and people truly don't understand. Like I'm like that, obviously why I'm involved with AKO right now is I don't care who it is. I don't care what sport it is. That guy's Nigerian. I already know who I'm going with.
Amen.
I don't know how or where it is. There's a pride, there's a dying pride in me. Even in a country that is so badly mismanaged like Nigeria, there's a pride that's in me. The moment I was in the UFC, I was holding that flag.
Yeah.
Immediately. There's that pride in me to where you are, it doesn't matter where you're at. Even if I've never seen you a day in my life, Nigeria, oh, that's my brother, nah, that's my guy.
Cousin. We know each other.
And so everyone go, wait, you should have gone up and take that belt. I was like, bro.
I know there'd be a lot of
not
pressure about it as well.
About that. They tried, of course. But it's not, for me, I'm like, bro, it's not about that. You know, obviously we do what we do. We're champions. We're making money.
And we're competitive.
You know, and we're competitive. And listen, if it was a conversation to where they're like, hey,
okay, we have
this
25 million. 25 million.
There was like, hey,
we did it like light today for free,
yeah,
just for
it's like,
fun.
Easy. Oh boy, 25
We
million.
talk
Don't
now.
go walk again. No.
Okay, how about this? Okay.
Okay.
This off limits. Okay, cool.
All
Okay,
right.
I'll go after you
All
for
right.
this. Easy.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, no oblique kick, no oblique kick.
No oblique kicks. Yeah.
my knees.
Hey, come on now. Hey, you know they need to pay me. But it's, for me, it was just about, man, we were shining. Like I told you, I was there at your first UFC fight. I was there when you challenged for the title to win the first title, UFC title. So it was, for me, it was much more powerful, the fact that we have two Nigerian champions, and not just that, two African champions. And in the way that we were doing it, you have a completely different, it's like pick your poison.
Yeah.
You have your completely different style, your completely different flair,
Yeah.
you know, in the way that you do it, that you come out, that you put it together. Completely different style of striking.
Likewise.
To where it's like Adamu, he was saying
Yeah.
today.
Oh, bro.
You know,
it's question marks, man. I was like, you know, he was throwing them like maybe like 90%. I was like, whoo. A couple caught me on the
nice.
on the forehead. Like I was like, okay, bet.
He will give you a haircut with his man. But
was like,
it's,
damn.
you get to pick. Now
Yeah.
he has two different guys, role models to pick from.
Like you were saying today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want you to watch one of his fights.
Bet.
You know, just kind of tune the guy up, because you can't get past him kicking you.
Yeah.
He kicking the guy, tune the guy up, and he gets done, and
Do something crazy. See.
look, he did
Inspiration.
it just inspiration.
Yeah.
And so it's stuff like that makes me feel so good, because it's like,
Pride.
man,
Yeah.
you
Not even
have
me.
a completely different style for them to choose from.
I remember when you were fighting for the belt, Tyron Woodley, and then I can't remember what press conference I was at, and someone asked me, said, oh, do you wish Kamaru, I don't know if you ever saw this, like, does a part of you wish Kamaru loses just so you can be the first Nigerian champ? And I was like, fuck no. But again, I don't understand what
people.
That's like, what kind of mentality do you have? It's like you're wishing bad on your brother just so it can be you. I'm like, no. And I said this already, when you win, I win.
Absolutely.
When I win, you win.
And
we win together.
They don't understand that.
That's the thing, because they've never been in that position. But
now, I told you, man, when you were able to, when you regained that belt, I jumped up so high. I was so high.
I've seen you.
To where
now I'm going to watch it again, look for the part where you were holding.
I black out. And then I think I was sitting there like,
yeah, breathe.
But really, you know, everyone thought I was just like, I was really like, yo, wake up. But
6, 4,
that's
3.
how invested that I am in it, and truly want you to be, I mean, you are great for everything that you've done, you know, the greatest middleweight of all time. And, you know, you've set a precedent and a record to where everyone now is going to try to come in and try to break.
We have.
Yes, and so it's, man.
Oh God, I heal you. I bless you.
Before I wrap, I need some sound bites just so I can do the vlog later on. Just for the training today. Was that the first time you guys actually put hands on each other?
Ever, right? Ever. Because for me, I was like, I knew I was coming to Miami. I was like, how have I never sparred with Kamaru? I was like, no, I want to just get to feel you and move around. And again, I could understand why. Because even there was a point you were walking me down, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop now. I'm not moving back anymore. It really played around, but I could feel the energy. I was like, this is how he gets people. And it's just this constant, like, I'm in your face, bitch. Boom, boom. And in the beginning.
How many times did I say, damn, I thought I was out of the way?
But
that leg is long.
I was excited at the beginning. That's why I was doing a lot of kicks and stuff. As just my energy, I was like, woo, But then I had to slow down and be like, all right, figure it out. Because I realized you were being methodical and just right there. Bro. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to move around with you.
And you're a puzzle.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's funny how we naturally go into the state of trying to figure out the puzzle.
Like the last bit where you had me, you almost had me in the cradle, but the last bit where you had me on the ground and I'll try to get up and you just take my right arm and I was like, okay. I was like, fuck, if only I had fingers, I'd be able to. And I was trying to Grammy roll, but he wouldn't, I could feel he knew I was going to Grammy roll.
Yeah, I mean, just wrestling.
Yeah, you know, but so I knew you felt it and I was like,
for a while.
okay, I'm not going to Grammy roll because he knows I'm going to Grammy roll. So I tried to just, and then time went and I was like, fuck. But again, it's the puzzle trying to figure it out and learning.
Absolutely.
And I know it's not going to be the last time. We'll do it again. Just because
for sure.
There's so many things I can learn from you. Your mentality, your wrestling, and your mindset as a champion. And you'll always be a champion. We'll forever be champions because we are the three kings.
Absolutely.
Amen. Eshidja. Thank you so much, man. And that's us, Young Man Ramble. Young Man Ramble. Let's go. Hey guys, what's up? Izzy here. Like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed this video.